Welcome to Homestead Reptiles, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about super cappuccinos and a little bit about my opinion and some new stuff that has sadly come out about them. So, as the big news broke a while ago about super cappuccinos with their spectacle eye, the nostril issue, I'm in a lot of cap groups. I'm in a lot of super cap groups, and I have had the privilege of watching people's super caps hatch and grow from little hatchlings to sub-adults, and some of them are adults or some are sub-adults. Geckos around that 25-gram mark. Some a little bit more sub-adults. I don't think anyone has an adult yet, a true adult. But in watching these guys grow, I've noticed some oddities. So this is just some minor stuff that I've noticed, and then there are some of the serious stuff that I'll bring up next. But the minor stuff you can see Odd Thomas right here, his head structure is very poor, but he still has crests. A lot of people always talk about how super caps have absolutely no crest, but super caps also have this. So on a healthy crested gecko, or most animals, but we're just going with the crested gecko, they have this layer of fat between their eyes and at the side, so right at the sides of their head. And a lot of super cappuccinos, it's like they have very little of it or have none of it at all, and their heads are just sunken in. They look emaciated. And I see normally that sunken in head is a sign of a starving gecko. Super caps are not starving. A lot of people actually have mentioned that they seem to eat a lot more than normal geckos. I don't know why they have this weird sunken in head look. I don't know why they seem to have this very gangly, scrawny body look. It has to do something with being a super cap. Now here's the big thing that's come out about this. So a very, very reputable breeder who was into cappuccinos before they were popular, who has been working with them for years and has produced super caps, he has bravely, and I say very respectively, put out some photos of one of his babies that he has produced that has been sold and is with a new person, that one of his babies he produced, and he made sure that none of his geckos were related, so this is not a problem with genetics being too close. He said he went through to make sure that he had none of his super caps were related to each other. Not super caps, cappuccinos. So this has nothing to do with a genetic bottlenecking problem. But that super cappuccino has this large mass towards the base of the tail. It is large for a gecko its size. It's massive. It would be a comparison to a 5-pound chihuahua having something like a apple attached to its back. It's massive, and it's huge. But they don't know if because this gecko does not belong to the breeder anymore. The owner doesn't know if it is cancerous, it's fluid filled, or what's going on with it, or if it's just a benign tumor, but it is a mass. And if you're going to say it's a one-off thing, this breeder has also posted that this has happened to other super cappuccinos. It's not a one-off thing. It doesn't seem like it's all of them that are forming this, but it seems that it's enough that it is noticeable. So at this point, having major problems, the eyes, the nostrils, possibly growing cancerous or benign tumors, in this population, the small population again, of super cappuccinos, it leads me to think that it is likely not ethical to breed them. And this breeder, who has been breeding again cappuccinos for years, everyone knows him in the cap groups, he's very reputable, has also posted that he's thinking, with all the problems they have, that super caps are probably not ethical to breed. And at this point, I'm also agreeing. So what I'm going to do with my two guys, since I can never prove them out, at least for me, I would feel very guilty to produce a super cappuccino at this point. Instead of being happy about it, I would be like, I've I've made something that is going to live a miserable life. I I did that. That's not cool. I knowingly did that. So these guys will be going in completely different directions. So little Autumn Olive here is going to be going into my Lily White projects, and Odd Thomas is going to go into my Dark Phantom project. So see if I can produce some really cool stuff. But since these guys are unproven, even if I do produce something that looks like a Frappuccino, even if it looks exactly like a Frappuccino, I might be able to hedge my bets and say she's likely a cappuccino. But, a lot of people say you can't prove them out with just producing Frappuccinos, but that might have to be the way to prove them out at this point. But I will just work with them that way, since I am not willing to make super caps at all. And I will later down the road, I will just purchase a cap, since cap prices are reduced, and they're becoming a lot more affordable for the average breeder. I will just purchase them. Purchase a nice male cap later down the road. I don't have the desire to get one right now. But yeah, I'll do that later down the road, and it totally sucks. I don't think people should be rude or mean to people that still want to produce super cappuccinos, but I really have this feeling as more and more information comes out about these guys, it's gonna get worse. It seems like every time more information comes out about super caps, it's getting worse, and it makes me feel a little suspicious about some of these new super forms that are coming out. So we'll just have to see. Could be totally wrong, but it just seems there's just too much stuff going against these guys, and it's sad. So don't be mean to people that want to produce them. To each their own. I personally don't like pugs because I think they're a super, super unhealthy, expensive vet bill. But someone might want that expensive, unhealthy vet bill. It's really each to their own. I personally won't touch them at this point. I'm putting them in the category of spiderball python or lemon frost leopard gecko, which they might actually have a lot similar to the lemon frost leopard gecko. They have that cool metallic look. Lemon frost have those really cool metallic looks and have cancer. So maybe that's going to be something that's attached to, sadly, to supers. So maybe that's what's going on with the super caps. But tell me about your opinion, like, and subscribe.